The candle flames trembled as if they already knew they were unwanted here, their small golden bodies bending in the air-conditioned silence of the private restaurant room. The cake sat untouched, pink frosting too perfect, the words "Happy Birthday" Lily written with care that felt almost cruel. At the head of the long table, the CEO stood frozen, hands clenched at his sides, watching his daughter sit motionless in her wheelchair, her eyes fixed somewhere far beyond the room. No laughter. No friends. No noise. Just the quiet hum of wealth failing to buy one thing that mattered tonight, a moment where his child didn't feel alone. If you believe that every story hides a lesson, take a second to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Humanity Stories, because sometimes the smallest moments carry the biggest truths. The room had been booked weeks in advance, reserved under a name everyone in the city recognized. The staff moved carefully, almost nervously, as if joy itself were fragile here. Lily had turned 9 today. 9 years old and already carrying a body that refused to answer her mind. The accident had come fast, a rainy evening, a driver who looked down for just 1 second, and a spinal cord that never healed. Since then, birthdays had become quieter. Friends stopped coming after the first year. Parents didn't know what to say. Children didn't know how to stay. And Lily, once loud and curious, had learned a stillness that went deeper than her paralysis. Her father watched her now, searching her face for any flicker of excitement, any sign that the balloons mattered. There was none, only patience, the kind a child learns when disappointment has become routine. Outside the glass walls of the restaurant, the city kept moving. People laughed, argued, rushed past lives they didn't notice. That was when a man hesitated at the doorway. He wore a worn jacket, the kind that had seen too many winters, and held the hand of a small boy with mismatched socks and a paper crown slipping off his head. They had been turned away from another table moments ago, budget issues, a misunderstanding, an apology that didn't change anything. The boy's eyes landed on the cake first. Then the balloons. Then Lily. He stopped walking. The father followed his gaze and saw what money couldn't hide, a birthday that felt forgotten even while being celebrated. The man didn't belong in rooms like this. He knew that. Single dads learn to read spaces quickly, to know when they're about to be judged. He felt the weight of the room's elegance press against his tired shoulders. But his son tugged his hand, quietly insistent, pointing at Lily not with curiosity, but recognition. Kids know loneliness when they see it. The father hesitated only a second longer before doing something he would replay in his mind for years. He walked toward the table and asked, softly, if they could join. The CEO looked up, surprised, irritation flickering before confusion replaced it. No one ever approached him like this. Not without an agenda. Not without fear. He opened his mouth to refuse, then stopped. Lily's eyes had shifted, just slightly. For the first time that evening, they were focused on something real. The boy smiled at her, wide and unafraid, and set his crooked crown straight as if this were the most natural place in the world to be. The silence stretched, then broke, not with words, but with a chair being pulled closer. They didn't talk about the accident. They didn't talk about money or status or loss. The boy talked about dinosaurs. About how his mom used to cut cake too big. About how birthdays felt better when someone sang off-key. The father watched Lily's hands, resting uselessly in her lap, and then her face, how her lips trembled, how her eyes softened. Something was happening that no doctor had promised and no therapy had achieved. She was present. She was seen. The candles were lit again. This time, when the song started, it wasn't perfect. It cracked. It stumbled. But it was real. Lily didn't blow out the candles. Her father did that for her. But she smiled when the smoke curled upward, a small, shaky smile that hit her father harder than any boardroom loss ever had. He felt it then, deep and sharp. This was the birthday he would remember. Not because of the cost, but because of the grace. Before the story ends, pause for a moment and tell us in the comments, have you ever witnessed a small act that changed everything for someone else? When the cake was cut, Lily insisted, with her eyes, with her expression, with a strength that surprised even her father, that the first slice go to the boy. The father accepted it carefully, almost reverently, as if afraid to disturb something holy. They didn't stay long. They never exchanged numbers. They didn't promise to meet again. Some moments aren't meant to be owned, only felt. As they left, the CEO realized his daughter was watching them go, not with sadness but with something closer to peace. If this story stirred something in you, if it made you think, or ache, or hope, let us know. Like the video, share it, and subscribe to Humanity Stories so these quiet moments don't disappear unheard. Because sometimes, all it takes to change a life, is the courage to ask, can we join you?